else wants to join the webinar, and then I'll get started. If there's anything you'd like to focus on, I'm happy for you to unmute your microphones, and you can just let me know which module you'd like to for me to spend some time on.
Hi.
Hi, Taryn.
There's three of us on this one. There's three of us on one laptop here.
That's fun. That's perfect.
Hi, I'm Taryn. How are you?
Good, thanks, and you?
And there's three of us on one laptop. Hi there.
Okay.
Hello.
Are you happy that I just kind of do a general overview of ChildCloud, or is there anything you'd like me to focus on particular?
The first time we watched, the connection wasn't really good. So I would like to really just go through how to start up the process of uploading, finding things, and just organizing. Maybe it will come back to me, and maybe you'll find with electricity being off and being in a huge group, and the sound wasn't really that good.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Sure. So basically how to add students, how to add staff, how to invite them, that kind of thing.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm going to get started. I've opened up the waiting room, so if anybody else joins, they can just jump on board. If I'm just going to ask you, I'm just going to mute you all. There we go. If anyone's got a question while I'm presenting, feel free to ask any questions at the end. I don't want to interrupt it for everybody. So just, if you can just hold off your questions until the end, please. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick overview of ChildCloud. We've obviously got 4 different portals on the system. We've got the administrator portal. They've got a bird's eye view of the whole system. The teachers only see their class, the parents only see their child or children, and then the older students can access ChildCloud as well, and they only see what's relevant to themselves. We've got, obviously, there's the management information system, is where you store the data of parents, students, and staff. There's a built-in learner management system, which we call the virtual classroom. And then there's the parent communication apps, which lets you do the push notifications. It lets you send out news, reminders, emails, SMSs. Then there's 3 core sections that we have on ChildCloud. Sorry, first of all, that's obviously cloud-based. It's accessible anytime, anywhere, from any device. So this is the administration modules that we have on board. We've got the attendance module, COVID screener, the database, the daycare module. All of your school's enrollment forms can happen through the system, and then you can waitlist them or move them to a classroom. You've got the groups module, which can let you create groups like extramural groups, sports groups. We've also got invoicing. You can do statement runs. You can invoice the parents, and you can receive payments. You've got your parent-teacher meetings. You've got your permission slips and your volunteers. On the next module, you've got the communication section. So I'm just going to wait for the page to load. Going backwards, forwards. There we go. Communication. So under communication, we've got activities, and that lets you log things like the child, when the child's sleeping, what they're eating. And you've also got the birthdays module, the calendar module. You've got the documents, email, gallery, news, newsletters, reminders, and SMSs. I'm going to go through these in more detail shortly, so that's why I'm just going through them quite quickly. And then the last one is academic. We've got the homework module, record keeping, report cards, timetables, and the virtual classroom. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just going to just close the screen down quickly. I'm going to open up the Okay, there we go. Let's just jump into here. I'm going to log in quickly. Oh. Okay, so this is the demo school that we've got in the system. It's just obviously just stock images of different children that we got on the system. The one question that we had was, how do you add different classroom staff, students, parents, and school staff? So let's start off. The first step is to click on our staff. So if you want to add a staff member, you just literally, so this is the new page. We just basically redesigned this page. This is new. So the top button will say not registered. So that teacher's been sent an invitation, but they haven't created a password yet. So you'll see that. The little green tick indicates that the teacher has created a profile that's been registered successfully. The little three dots lets you view the profile, lets you see which classroom that teacher's allocated to and which subjects they're allocated to, and you can edit the teacher's profile or you can delete the teacher. The not registered one's going to show you two additional links. One will be the share invitation link, where you can actually, I'm just going to show you what it does. If you click on it, if the teachers say they didn't get the invitation, you can actually copy this link and then WhatsApp it to them or just give it to them, and they can create a password just in case their email went to their spam folder. You can also click the reset invitation button. To add a new staff member, you literally simply click on our staff button at the top and then click on add new staff member. And then you're going to click on teacher or administrator, or you can click on both. So you could click on administrators and teachers if you wanted to. That'll create a dual account and the teacher can switch between the two. You've also got the general staff. That would be for like cleaning staff, security guards, and they don't need access into the system. Once you've added the staff, you can then allocate that staff member to a classroom. So you jump into classrooms, and this is the page you're going to see. To add a new classroom, click the little button in the top right-hand corner, and you can add your different classes, and then you can allocate that class to a teacher. And then your student tab is pretty straightforward. We can also bulk upload this for you, but you can upload the student's name, first name. So we just upload the basics for you. And this little note here to say that once you've uploaded it, you can add or edit and add additional information to that child's profile. And then the parents, we've also got a new page in here, which we've just created. It just gives a better overview of all the parents in the system. Once again, the green tick indicates that the parent is registered on the system. If there's no green tick, that parent hasn't registered. And that's why we've grayed out these buttons. They haven't registered, so you can't actually correspond with them yet. To see which parents have registered, simply click on the invite parent button. We're just going to load this page. And then you can just click on the invite status header at the top there to click on that. And then it's going to sort them. So you know that all of these parents here need to be resent the invitation. And then the ones in blue, you can click on to invite them, and the ones in green indicate which parents have actually registered. But like I said, we can bulk upload this all for you if your school hasn't yet got any data in the system yet. The other link at the end is the school link. So this lets you customize the modules. So I can appreciate that it's quite overwhelming, that there's quite a few features in here. So what you could do initially is turn certain modules off, which will hide it from the parents and the school staff. And then as the teachers become more familiar with it, you can go and add more features. So these are all the features we have under administration, communication, and academic. The school settings tab is also a very important page because it gives the school full control over what people can do. For example, if you don't want your teachers having the ability to edit a child's information, you can turn that toggle off. Same applies to the parent. If you don't want the parents to edit the child's information, you can turn that button off. You can also hide class lists from parents. They can't see each other's phone numbers and email addresses. So yeah, you can just familiarize yourself with this page. So moving down to the left-hand side menu, I'm actually going to jump across into the teacher's portal. But before I do that, the administrator has 2 additional links that the teacher doesn't have. The first link being the invoicing module. So the administrators can obviously invoice the parents. The teachers can't do that. So this is what the invoicing module looks like. So you can create an invoice, you can do statement runs. We've added a new feature for the schools from outside South Africa. If you click on the settings tab, yesterday we added a feature where you can change the currency. So if you're using South African Rand, it'll default to South Africa, because most of our schools are here. But you could obviously just do a search and do the Namibian dollar, or there we go. Yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. And then you can add your school's bank details. And another important thing is to actually do presets. So you could click on manage presets. And then I've created things like teddy tennis, lunch fees, the full year, school fees, daycare, half full day. If you want to add one for your school, simply click on the little blue button that says add a new item. And then you can add in, for example, school fees, 500 Rand, and click on add preset. So when you're creating the invoice, those presets will preload for you. The other feature that the teachers don't have is the enrollment section. So this lets you upload and share your enrollment forms with the new parents. So don't send this form, please, to existing parents. Only send this to the parents that are wanting to join the school for the first time. You can customize this. So you can hide certain fields. You can set your daycare options. You can add your daycare times. And then once you're ready to share it, click the share button in the top right-hand corner. And then you can either share that link with the parent, or you can actually paste this code into your school's website, which will then appear as this little button on your school's website for the parents to enroll. You can also upload your school's liability waivers, school fees, terms and conditions, and these will appear at the bottom of the enrollment form for the parent to sign. And this is just a quick example of what the form is going to look like. It's going to pull through your school's logo, and the parents can fill all that information in. Once they've applied, they're going to appear on this list, and then you can waitlist them or move them into a classroom. So jumping into the teacher's portal. So the teacher obviously sees the same links at the top. They've got class lists, parent lists. They can see all their students. They can go into the student's profile, for example. So these are all the students in the school. They can click on Henry, excuse me, and they'll have access to Henry's information. They can do, they can view Henry's progress, his activity archive. They can upload the academic reports and see his attendance. And they can also, if you give them permission, they can actually click on the edit icon and edit any information for that child. The attendance module is pretty straightforward. You can simply, if you've been allocated to multiple classes like this demo school has, you can just click on and just mark certain children present or absent and click save. You've got your attendance archive on here. So you can filter between which class you want to view. If you've made a mistake and you forgot to add the attendance for a certain day, you can simply click on the little red button and you can go ahead and backdate the attendance. So if you forgot that day, you can just go in and update it. You've got your attendance summary on here. So this gives the summary per class for the whole year, terms 1, 2, 3, and 4. If your school runs in a 3-term year, you'll only see your 3 terms. Okay, we've got a COVID screener. Either the parent can screen their own child via the system, or the teacher can, or the administrator. We can also tell the system to send the parents an automated notification at 6 a.m. to remind them to screen their own child for COVID. Otherwise, you can just do a search at the gate. You can type in the child's name, like Susie, click on add, and you can tell the system if the child's healthy, got a fever, the temperature is 36, and you can actually mark the child as present there and then, and that'll then mark them as present for the day. You can also, there's a history button. So if you click on the history little blue button there, you can view all the COVID results for a specific child, and it lets you add multiple temperature checks throughout the day. The database lets you pull information out of the system. So if you've got a whole bunch of stuff on here that you want to extract, like parents' phone numbers and email addresses, you're going to choose the class, and then you're going to go ahead and just tick off which ones you want to export, and then click apply. And you can print that list. The groups module is very popular because it lets you create like a holiday care group, a ballet group, and then you can actually do attendance specifically for that group. You can do news, event reminders, and then that'll then appear on the parents' dashboard. All of your parent-teacher meetings can happen through the system as well. So if I go into the Sharks class, for example, you can create a parent-teacher meeting, and then the parent or the teacher can allocate certain slots depending on which slots are available. If the slot is booked, another parent can't book themselves in for that slot. The permission slips module is if the student is leaving the school grounds, like going to the zoo, for example, and the parent needs to sign a permission slip, this is where they can do it. So here's a trip to the zoo. The parents can read all about it, and then the teacher can see which child is attending and which child is not attending. The parent will basically digitally sign it using their finger on their phone. You've got all of your term dates. There's no confusion between the parents of when the school dates are opening and closing. Your volunteers module is very similar to your parent-teacher meeting. It's where you create slots and the parents can put themselves forward. You can just tell how many volunteers you need, where and when. So that's the administration section completed. And now we're going to move on to communication. Before I do, I just want to mention two things. The first being that ChildCloud is 0 rated with Cell C. So if there's any parents that have a Cell C SIM card at the school or any teachers, they can browse the system for free with no data costs. Another awesome feature is we've now got a new app. So parents that have an Android phone can go into the Play Store, tap in ChildCloud, and they can download the app on their phone. So moving on to the communication module, activities is pretty popular with the younger classes. So this will let you log when a child is sleeping. So you can click on the sleep icon, for example, and then you can just choose which child has fallen asleep. And you can click Start Nap and then click Submit. So that now says asleep since 2:18. If you've forgotten who's sleeping, that's a nice way to remind you. You might want to then click on Katie and click on Start Nap and click Submit. And you can basically then just toggle between this page when the child is waking up after their nap. To end the nap, you just simply click on the child's name and click End Nap. You can customize these. So if your classes are a little bit older, you can choose the class you want. So let's go into the Sharks class, for example. And now you click on the Customize button. You may find that the children in that class are not sleeping or going to the potty, or you're not tracking food. So you can click Apply and it'll basically hide those modules on this page. But we track things like achievements. You can upload the child's art portfolio on here, or take a picture of the art portfolio, behavior, their food. I'll click on that one quickly. This is very popular. So the food icon, you can choose, let's say, for example, for Susie, she had food, she had most of it, and it was lunch, and she had pasta. And you can click Submit, and then that'll keep an archive of everything that child is eating. If I log into the parents portal quickly, you'll see that what I've just logged there. So this is what the parent sees. So this is the child of that parent. And then there's that little observation note I just wrote. The parent can write a comment like thanks, whatever, thanks for sharing. They can click the little icon there. That's going to then notify the teacher that that parent has commented on that. The parent might want to say something like, please don't forget to not give my child nuts or whatever. There's just a two-way conversation between the parent and the teacher. Parent can like it. and then everyone can see how many times that post has been viewed. If the parent wants to view their child's archive, they're going to click on activities, and they can actually filter. They can choose which archive they want to see. For example, they might want to see all the incidents or photographs. So I'm going to click on photos. I'm going to click on filter. And then that'll pull through every image that's been taken of that child. So this is like a more personalized way of sharing photographs if the parent doesn't want their child to appear in the school gallery. I'm going to flip across back to the teacher portal quickly. My internet's learning a little bit slow. Okay, so we got under communication, we've done activities. We're going to move on to birthdays. Birthdays is all it does really is just basically shows you all the staff birthdays in the school. So it won't give away the staff member's age, but it will just show their date, and it'll also notify the parents on their calendar as well. The teacher will get an automated email on the day of a child's birthday, and it'll also appear. So if I go into the calendar for the teacher quickly, you'll see all the children's birthdays on the calendar. If I click on month, it should show a birthday on here somewhere. There we go. And then Deepa's birthday at the bottom there. You've got, so you can also link your calendar to Google. So if you've got a Google calendar, and you can link it up. You can create recurring events, and you can also notify the parent of that event as well. Every time you're uploading something, if the parents have subscribed to notifications, the parents will get a push notification to their phone. The documents module lets you upload documents and share them with members of the school community. So either school administrators, teachers, or parents. You can choose which one you want to share to. You can create a folder over here, and then you can actually share a file within a folder. So I've created all these folders here as tests, but you can see folders that have been shared with you, and then these would be your folders. It's a bit like we've kind of created our own version of Google Docs, really. The email module lets you email either the entire school, a class, or a group. You can just choose which one you want. You can upload up to 3 images or 3 attachments, and it will. So if I go into, for example, to the Sharks class, it's going to tell me there's 16 parents there and there's 3 students. By default, it only emails the parents, but there might be 3 students, and you can tick that as well. That's more for the older students. You've got delivery reports on here, so you can see which parents have read the email. This is just a testing one, but 8 means the 8 in green means that 8 parents have received it and 4 haven't. So if I click on the view report button, I can see that, for example, this parent here didn't get the email. You can click on it and it'll tell you it was a bounce, and it'll say if it's a hard bounce or a soft bounce, so you know which parents are getting your correspondence. There's a gallery on here. So this is going to warn you, if you click on add album, it's going to warn you if a child is not allowed to appear in that school-related media. So James Dean can't appear because the parents have set it to not be allowed. If you want to edit that, I'll just show you how quickly. So I'll click add album again. And then if I click on James Dean there, the little blue link, if I go down to edit child information, at the bottom of the page, you're going to see one here that says student media permissions. If you want the child to appear in the social media, just click yes, and then that warning will no longer appear. Messenger is a new feature that we've just launched. So you can choose either a student, a teacher, or a parent. I'm going to log in. I'm going to click on Sean Penn, who's a parent, and then you can see the correspondence between myself and that parent. The parent gets an email and a push notification to their phone, and you can upload images. So click on the little icon at the bottom here, and then you can choose the image on your computer, and you can email it off to the parent. If you want to archive somebody, so if you finish chatting to them and you want to get them out of your list here, simply click on the little 3 dots and click on archive that person, and then they've gone. If there's someone not on the list on the left, click on the search icon at the top here, and then it'll show all your recent searches. And otherwise just type in the person's name and it'll pull through everyone that you can just click on their name. It's a bit like a built-in WhatsApp messaging system. The news module is a little bit like Facebook. So you can upload a post and then the parents can comment on it, like it, and you can see how many parents have viewed it. The newsletters, I'll just give you an example of what this looks like. These are all tests, but let me just see if I can find one here that is not a test. Let's go on this one. Okay, so the administrator can create a newsletter and then that will be shared with the entire school, all the staff, all the students, and all the parents by default. I can show you in more detail if you want how to create a newsletter. Only the administrator can do that. The reminder section is a bit like the news feature. It just puts a date to a time, so it reminds the parents of what, so you can upload, type in the message, and then click attachment or link it to an outside website. You can send SMSs, so if all the parents don't have data in the school, you can choose the class at the top, and then you can say, I want to send a message to either the whole school or to a certain classroom. And just bear in mind that you need to purchase SMS credits. That's the only thing extra that you've got to pay for. A staff notice board is a new feature as well. That is where the parents can't see this, only the school staff can see it. So you can basically just write a message like, please meet in the staff room ASAP, and then the teachers can all see that. And the last module is the academic module. This is probably the most popular module that we have. It lets you create academic report cards, you can upload your class timetables. So I'll just show you the easy ones quick, and I'll focus on the more challenging stuff now. So this is the, obviously, examples of the different class timetables that you can upload. The homework module lets the teacher for the older children upload homework. So I'll just give an example. I'll click on the preview button here. This was maths homework. It was due on the 2nd of August. The teacher can write a description, they can upload files, and then they can see how many students have uploaded their homework. And you can also click on the title, and then you can see a snapshot. These are all the children linked to that homework, and you can see that this child, Susie, has completed it on that date, and you can give a mark out of 10 if you want. You can write a comment, click the little blue button to send a little comment to the child, like well done. You can give a mark, click send reply. You can also leave an audio note. So you can just click on the audio icon. You can click record and you can send a little voice note to that student. And if you click on the view history button, you can see a correspondence between the student, the parent for that homework. To add homework, simply click on the button in the top right-hand corner. You would choose the subject that's linked to you. So I'm going to choose Afrikaans, give it a title, give it a description, upload a file, tell the system when it's due by. And then if you want to notify the recipient by email, click on that and it'll email that recipient the homework. The parent will log in. They can also mark the homework as complete, which will notify the teacher. Okay, so let's move on to record keeping. This is a very popular module. So the administrator would create the framework. I'll show you how to do that shortly. I don't want to jump around too much, but the administrator would create the homework and they would choose the framework. So for this example, my school is linked to a Montessori framework, but you could have Elder, CAPS, ECD. We've got all the frameworks preloaded for you. Choose the class. If you choose to sort the child by age, it's going to put the youngest child at the beginning. I'll tell you why that's important, because if, for example, you're going on to language and you're clicking on cursive writing, this child in the beginning here will be the youngest. So if they are falling behind, you'll know why. And the oldest child will be over here. You can click on the X icon. And then you can just say that I want to do this for Susie. You can write your observation note. You can upload a photograph of the child doing that observation. And then all these are editable. So you might want to do like, still trying, but for Montessori, we generally use introduced, practiced, or mastered. So you would click on introduced, for example, and click on upload report. That's then going to update that child's profile. So if I jump now into Susie, let's just go and show you quickly. I'm going to observations quickly to show you what I've just recorded. I'm going to do a search for Susie. There she is. I click on overview. Okay, so these are all the things I've logged for this child. So there's the one I just did for language. It's introduced the lower and uppercase letters. You can click on the link, it'll open up that lesson for you to read more about it. The parents can also see this, obviously. It only shows the latest level that the child's achieved. It's not going to show everything. If you want to show everything, click the back button and then click on, let's just go down to Susie and then click on history. That's going to show you the whole archive for absolutely everything you've been recording in terms of the milestones for that child. And if you uploaded an image, it'll appear as a thumbnail that you can click on to view it. The parent, I'm going to jump into the parent portal very quickly. So I'm now logging as a parent. I can go academic. I can click on my child's learning progress, and I can click on either the daily progress, which tracks absolutely everything you're logging, or just the overall progress. It's worth noting here that the parent doesn't see the comment. So if you're writing a comment on their child, that's hidden from the parent. Let's just close that down, go back to the teacher. Okay, the other thing you can do is under record keeping is you can do your progress plan. So you can actually plan what you want to do for the week. So I'm going to choose my framework. I'm going to choose the Sharks class. And now I'm going to add students to my plan. So let's just say I want to go down to the discrimination of touch. They all start off as gray blocks, and I can say that I want to add Henry, Brittany, and James. I'm going to click on the little green button in the bottom called View Plan. And then these are all the children linked to the plan for the week. I can print the plan, and then that'll let me be able to print a hard copy of it. But otherwise, you can just jump onto James Dean, for example, and then these will be the different milestones I have to achieve with that child. And then you can just record them. You can log the observation. It will wipe them off the list. Academic reports lets you create a report card based on your record keeping. So without you having to go and do anything, you can actually generate a report card. So I can say term 1, 2022. I'm going to jump into the Sharks class and click go. Okay. And then I'm going to see Susie Smith at the bottom. I'm going to click on preview report. And this is the report card that will be auto-generated for you based on your record keeping throughout the term or throughout the year, or if it's Montessori, throughout your 3-year work cycle. It'll pull through the child's profile photo, name, class, any medical conditions, your school's logo, date of birth, absenteeism, school's opening, closing dates, and then most importantly, it pulls through all of the milestones that child's achieved. You can link your teacher signature, your principal signature, and then the teacher can't send out the report card, only the administrator can. So if I flip across into the admin portal quickly, and I go down to academic and click on reports, and I click on the little link of reports, I choose 2022 term 1. These are the children linked to that report card. I can then preview it. So this is just a different format we've got available. Let's just see this one here, preview. Yeah, that's the one I just created. And then you can share it with the parent, you can edit it, you can print it. But there are different ways that a school can create report cards. So we've factored in this for every school across all grades. You click on templates, and then you can create different templates. You only have to create the template once. Once it's been created, you don't have to keep on doing it again and again. You can click on the menu button, click on add a new template. You can give it a name like report card term 4, or you can choose the grade if you want, like grade R. And then you can set your presets in terms of, I don't want to show the child's how to wait. It's customizable. And then you choose the different templates you want. So you've got your frameworks, which will pull through your record keeping milestones, or you can create your own milestones, or you can choose subjects, percentages, and codes. That's more for the older children. And then the last one is just the virtual classroom. So you've got a virtual classroom, you've got an inspiration library on here with thousands of lessons. So if you get stuck and you need to get some inspiration, you can go in here and you can check out some lessons that you can allocate to a classroom. And then if your class wants to use if your school wants to use our virtual classroom, they're more than welcome to. This lets you upload your entire school's curriculum. One of our schools in the system have actually uploaded 18,000 lessons into ChildCloud, which they can share with the parent. I'll just show you how this works very quickly. You're going to go into the 4 lessons for sensorial, and then you can click on the blue rectangular box, for example, and then the parent or the teacher can read more about it. And the cool thing is you can actually click edit lesson. You can share this on the calendar. So I can go down now and I can say that this lesson, you can share it on Zoom even if you want to do a Zoom meeting. You can allocate it to a week on the calendar. So I'm going to make this applicable for tomorrow, the 19th at 2 o'clock. Click on Save Changes. I don't know if this is linked to this child, but I can have a quick look. Let's just go into the parent. And the parent can log in and click on academic and click on virtual classroom and click on calendar. So there it is. That's the one I just added. So the parent can click on a month view and they can then see all of their lessons loaded onto the calendar. You'd obviously have, this would be full of lessons if you use this feature. The parent literally clicks on the lesson. They can view it and then they can mark it as completed once they've done the lesson. And they can upload any files if there's homework to be done for that lesson. And that's pretty much it. We've only got 3 minutes left, so I'm going to open this up for any questions. If anybody has questions, you can unmute yourself and then you can fire away. Cool. Don't forget to unmute yourself if you are asking a question.
Hi, what is the cost per school or per child?
It depends on the volume and the number of students, but it starts at R8 per student per month, depending on how many students there are.
Okay.
I can share with you our pricing chart if you want. If you could just in the chat room, just send me your email address and I'll send it to you.
Okay. And then I
Perfect.
also want to know, is there any way to run everything through your system, like accounts, everything? I missed part of it.
Yeah,
so
in the beginning I spoke about the invoicing module and how you can do invoices and statement runs. When I get your email, I'll send you a little tutorial video on how to do the invoicing.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Does anybody else have any questions? I have made a recording of this webinar. So in the chat room, if you just want to send me your email address, I can send you all a link to the webinar, just in case you want to share that with your staff. And then, but you've basically covered pretty much everything. Cool. Is there any other questions I can help you?
You said that the app is only on Android.
So 78% of our parents that we've got about 40,000 parents using ChildCloud, and 78% through our stats show that they use Android phones. If there's a parent with an iPhone, there's quite a simple solution. All they've got to do is on the Apple phone, open up Safari, and then open up the ChildCloud login page. They're going to save that to their